Lock in for 90 days and reinvent yourself. New Year's is coming up, and with that comes growth, improvement, but with that also comes reflection, excuses, and regrets. Do you find yourself looking back on the past year going, what did I actually do? What did I accomplish this year? Do you avoid talking about your goals because you never follow through with them? This video is for you. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I accomplished everything on my vision board this year. And I'm going to give you guys the blueprint. I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it step by step. This is a how-to guide because you are going to reinvent yourself too. Hi, my name is Shay, and in this video, I'm going to talk about everything I did to achieve everything on all three of my vision boards. We're going to go over every single thing. I'm going to give you the details, the how-to, explain what I did, how I manifested my dream life, and how you will too. So let's start off with my first vision board. So I also have a video on how to make vision boards step by step using Canva. So if you want to, click on this video up above. But my first vision board was in 2022, and I just really liked to, I'm a visual person, so I like to visualize my goals. And having this as my phone background was just something that would remind me every single day, especially when I was down or feeling unmotivated, of what my goals were. So in 2022, my goals were mainly physical. You can see a lot of the stuff with the fit girl aesthetic, focus on the gym, body, motivation. I had a lot of pictures of fit girls, specifically black girls, because I wanted to emanate specifically people that I could actually achieve the body of. I was being more realistic with my goals. I focused on meal prepping, being disciplined. I was working in a toxic workplace. I was stuck. I had no motivation. I felt like I couldn't do anything. Nothing was working out for me. And just having this on my phone and being able to see it every single day just gave me some sort of hope. And one important thing I want to point out on this vision board, don't spend another year doing the same shit. And that just resonated with me so hard because I realized I needed a plan. So that's the tip I'm going to give you, is have a plan, put it into action. So instead of sitting there and like wallowing in what I don't have and what I would like to have and how come this happens to everybody except for me, I was like, okay, let's appreciate what I do have and let's work towards something that I do want. What life do I want? What do I envision for myself? So I had a plan, I envisioned it, and I drove that point home with this visual vision board. I had a lot of pictures of soft life, focusing on self-care, baths, candles, you know, all that stuff that I really wanted to do. I really wanted to focus on my mental health, improve it. I was definitely focusing on healing. Something important I had on my vision board was becoming her. I like this phrase. I wanted to become her, that girl that I envisioned, that girl that I looked up to. And it wasn't that I envisioned someone else in my body, it was me. I pictured myself having a stable career, having my body goals, going to the gym, developing discipline, having a husband. Oops. But I envisioned myself having all these things, and I got real about it, you know? I was like, well, I can't just sit here and envision all these things and expect them to just kind of dump in my lap. This new career is not just going to fall into my lap. A husband's not going to fall into my lap, you know? Discipline isn't just going to fall into my lap. I had to develop these things. I had to develop a goal. So what I started doing was applying for jobs, regardless of how I felt, regardless of my mood, regardless of my motivation, because I kept waiting. I kept telling myself like, oh, I'm going to wait for the proper time to do this. There is no proper time. You can start now. When I developed that mentality, I decided that this is going to be sort of like how I work around my gym schedule. This is going to be discipline. Discipline is doing the things that you don't want to do, but you know they're good for you. So I knew that applying for these jobs would benefit me in the long run. Maybe not in the short term because I was investing all this energy and not seeing any reward, but I knew down the line I would see it and that this would benefit me. Every single day I woke up with such anxiety because I kept telling myself, it was always there in the back of my mind, that I knew I could be in a better position of work. I knew that I didn't deserve this toxic workplace. Even though this wasn't my dream job, I still put all the effort that I could into this job. I gave it my 100%. I became a manager. I had 2 promotions. It was just a toxic environment and I knew I needed to leave it. I have a degree in forensic science. I have a university degree, Bachelor of Science. I knew that I can put this education to use. Now, my huge goal was to apply for the RCMP. I kept getting sidetracked and I kept getting down on myself because the RCMP wasn't really hiring and I just didn't see myself in that position. I just kept making excuses. My highest goal was the RCMP, and second to that would be to work in a government office. I told myself, okay, well, if I don't see myself achieving this higher goal of RCMP, I can achieve this smaller goal. So what I started to do was apply for government jobs. Now, if you don't know, in the government of Canada, I'm sure it's the same everywhere else, but these applications are so long. They are tedious, and it's because they want to weed out the people that are not serious. So these applications would take days to fill out, and it wasn't fun, and I definitely did not want to do it. And because it took a lot of time, I just felt unmotivated. It wasn't really something that I wanted to sit down and do. I wasn't excited to do it, but I knew it was good for me. What I did was I sat down and I made like an Excel Excel spreadsheet of all the questions. I put down all my answers. I put 100% into this. And I told myself a job that I could apply for now could become my career later down the road. Suck it up. This is good for you. Start applying. These jobs take years to get. And then guess what? I got my job. I got that interview. I sold it and I got my dream job. I got my dream job at the end of 2023. So it was right around New Year's. This was a large focus of my vision board. So I got to tick that off and I felt so good. All that applying, all that effort, all that lack of motivation, it just paid off. It took years. It took years. Let me reiterate that. It did not happen quickly. It took a long time. But the fact that I focused on what I did have, which was I had a job and I'm applying for a job, I thought to myself, well, this would be a different situation if I was unemployed and I was applying for jobs and I was so reliant on getting an answer. The fact that I have a full-time job and I'm able to apply for things. At the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, my goals significantly changed. Now that I had accomplished something off my vision board, I was so happy. There was endless possibilities. Of course, I wanted to run with that adrenaline because I felt so good. I had my dream job, the highest paying job that I've ever had in my life. This is definitely going to go uphill for me. Things are going to be changing. And I had the mentality that when you are going through things, you feel like you're struggling, you feel like everything is against you. Why do bad things always happen to me? I really feel like it is life preparing you for something bigger. There is something better on the way. You may feel shitty now, but I guarantee you, something better is coming. In 2024, my vision board changed. I had now achieved my dream job, and now I was focusing on healing. Healing past trauma, healing from the toxic work environment. I still didn't feel like I was worth having this job. I had some sort of imposter syndrome. I didn't feel like I earned this job. I was feeling like I wasn't going to be successful in this job. Of course, it's a new position. Clearly, I'm going to be new, and there's going to be a learning curve, but I was just feeling a lot of doubt. Now, I started to talk to myself positively. Especially when I started to have those negative thoughts. I told myself, I have a degree. I was hired for a reason. I prepared for this interview. I sold myself. They wanted me. They actually wanted me so badly. The position was a bilingual position. They actually changed it to an English position because they wanted me. And farther down the line, now that I've been there for almost a year and a half now, my supervisor told me that the reason they hired me was because I was the best prepared for that interview. And that's because I had a plan. I made sure I prepared myself. I was the most prepared and I deserved that job and I got it. Now that we went over all three of my vision boards, we're now going to reiterate what I did. What is the blueprint? What is the how-to? So if you are interested in leveling up this year, listen up. First thing I did was stop focusing on the things that I could not control. So things like victim mentality, always blaming yourself. Why does things happen to me? Why do all bad things happen to me? Why can't I make enough money? Why aren't they calling me back for these job offers? Stop thinking like that. I started to think positively. Things I can control. I developed a fitness routine. I developed discipline. I could control my meal preps. I can control when I went to the gym and how long, what's the effort that I put into the gym. I was receiving a very shitty paycheck for a very shitty job. I saved money. I personally believe in fate. So what will happen will happen. If something does not go your way, don't fret. Honestly, it's probably not meant for you. I had multiple job interviews that I never ended up getting the job. Actually, let me tell you a story. So I had 2 interviews before I got the current position that I'm in, my career. The 2 interviews, one of them went horribly. The second one was hard. It was like a test. It was like to assess all my skills, and I really felt like I did badly. I ended up getting an email saying that they're not going to take me, but they put me in a pool, which was where I got plucked from for my now job. So if I didn't fail that interview, I wouldn't have gotten this job now. All right, I want you to listen closely for this one because this one might hurt some of y'all, okay? Stop telling everyone your goals. Hot take. I know you want to share it with your friends. You want people to lift you up. You want people to motivate you. Let me tell you right now, not everybody is rooting for you. Not everyone's in your circle, okay? How many times have you told your family about a new project that you want to start and they always had these questions, they're shooting you down, how are you going to afford your life, blah, 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 being negative, and then you're like, you know what? I don't think I want to do it anymore. Stop telling them. Because I guarantee you, people are not rooting for you. They always want to be realistic, but they don't know their comments can hurt you. You know how many times I told my family something that I wanted to start something and they were like, blah, 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 and then I changed my mind. Okay? So stop telling people your goals. Be silent. Do your work in silence. Disappear for 90 days. Come back. Shock them. Reinvent yourself. Stop giving up. I'm talking to you. Stop giving up when every little thing doesn't go your way. The world doesn't revolve around you. There's always going to be bad things. For example, when I gave you my interview story, I was really devastated when I did not get that job. I worked so hard. I prepared. I really sold myself, and I actually took off time off work, which means money out of my pocket, to have the interview because it was on a Saturday and they refused to reschedule it. You don't think I wanted that money? Of course I wanted that money. I was devastated when I didn't get that job. But like I told you, fate intervenes. If it was meant for me, I would have got the job. I feel like when you're feeling down or you're just feeling like out on your luck, it's life preparing you for something bigger and better. Every single time I kind of had like a bump in my journey, and I'm talking like maybe financial hardship, or if I felt like I got ahead and something's pushing me back, is life preparing you for something better. I'm telling you, before I got this job, I was in such a bad place in my toxic workplace. I was always angry all the time. I was irritated. I was crying. I was anxious. It was a really bad time for me. And I thought that was the end. I thought that was the worst of the worst. I've hit rock bottom. I ended up getting the job and everything went uphill. I quit that toxic workplace. I started focusing on mental health. I'm happier than ever. Something better is coming. But when those bad things do happen, and they will happen, that's part of life, allow yourself to feel those emotions and work through them. Journal. Figure out why you're feeling like that. A lot of the times I was super anxious. I couldn't even breathe. But taking the time to actually sit there and be like, okay, why am I feeling these things? How can I fix this? How can I help this? How can I manage during this time? There are certain things that I can't change in this moment, but I can manage. And one of the things was I kept feeling down on myself about having this shitty, toxic job. So I decided to change something. I started to apply for positions, and I knew that the sooner I acted, the sooner I can get out of there. I want you to take the time to acknowledge your small achievements. I'm guilty of this, so I'm speaking to myself too. I tend to only appreciate when there's like I accomplished my big goals. For example, the longest goal that I've had on my vision board was to hit 10K. And I'm so happy. I'm like 300 subscribers away as of this video. I never really celebrated because if I'm almost at 10K, it means I hit 5K, 6K, 7K, 9K, right? But I didn't really take the time to actually celebrate because I was so focused on that big goal of 10K. I didn't take the time to appreciate the journey of how I was going to get to 10K. My goal of 10K subscribers, it's been on my vision board for the last couple of years, so I'm really happy to say that I almost accomplished it. I want you to be realistic with your goals. If anything, I want you to be very specific with your goals. Instead of saying, I want to gain subscribers on YouTube, have an actual goal. I want to gain 10K subscribers, and then put in a plan. What am I going to do to gain the subscribers? My last tip to you is to have your vision board. First of all, make one. Have your vision board somewhere visible to you at all times so that when you're feeling down, when you're feeling unmotivated, or maybe you have a setback, you can look at that and realize why you actually started this in the first place and why do you want to reinvent yourself for 2025. Think back to that. I have my vision board on my phone. It's my background. If you don't like electronic vision boards, you can actually print the images out if y'all got money like that. Listen, I don't got money for ink, okay? In this economy, no. Print your vision board out, have it on your wall, have it as your laptop screensaver. Whatever you have to do to always have this in your vicinity, do it. That's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I know I said not to share your goals, but can you guys put down one thing in the comment that you are hoping to work towards in this 2025? Is this your year? Are you feeling excited? Do you get overwhelmed? What tip did I say that resonates with you the most? Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. Send this to somebody who is unmotivated. Bye, guys.